another wonderfully bizarre spin-off from the main series that was actually available for console. Since most PCs were garbage back then, and I was only about 10 years old, this was the only accessible way to enjoy the series' quirky, intriguing world, aside from the equally outlandish Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS spin-offs, hidden gems in their own right. The Urbz, along with Bustin Out and the other console spin-offs, firmly established The Sims on my Xbox in the mid-2000s. In an effort to return to my roots, I inserted the backwards compatible game into my Xbox 360 to embark back upon the life of Derek Urban, new resident and social nobody of Urbania. I'm not kidding, that's the name of the city. This is canon. Attempting to make the big bucks and kick it with the coolest cats in town. Maybe even find my soulmate, or at least make a few friends and learn some secret handshakes. I like the Urbz because you start off as someone I could relate to as a young person. You have no money, no identity, and you live in a sad, dark apartment. But cool guy will.i.am, lead singer of the Black Eyed Peas, and Darius, tracksuit outfitted, chain-wearing cool guy of the city, both place their utmost confidence that you, a nobody with no muscles, brains, or artistic ability whatsoever, will labor by the sweat of your brow to achieve dreams of finding friends, fame, and riches in Urbania, a testament to the value of hard work. After an adventure into the dumpster, what proceeds is a quest that encompasses 9 city districts based on real-life, stereotypical or fringe social groups, where you will gain the trust and respect of the locals, ultimately becoming the most popular, richest, and existentially confused resident to ever inhabit Urbania. Our adventure to achieve popularity begins at Skyline Beach, a collection of tenement rooftops bridged precariously by planks dangling over potentially fatal drops to the concrete below. It's immediately evident that I am the other. I lack the bling, the visible undergarments, and the thickness with 2 C's that make me stick out like a sore thumb on the sun-bathed rooftop. I spring to action, wooing the women with the impressive angle on my sideways cap, my visible undergarments, and surprisingly quick adoption of Olympic breakdancing technique. I suck at everything. But with enough effort and this extremely repetitive minigame, 410 simoleons, I use the money to buy more underpants, tickle strangers, and please them into befriending me. It's not long before the game has crashed and I'm back at the Xbox 360 menu. But hard work yields bling. My entire appearance has changed, and I've decided to keep my mustache the same, no matter what neighborhood I may visit. I socialize with more lookalikes, obtain Darius's social move, buy the mental machination station, and return home to complete this minigame where you have to mash the A button to become less stupid. For some reason, when I was a little kid, I couldn't move my thumb this fast, so I just stayed poor. It's not long before we're off to Gasoline Row, home to bikers and their hogs, and it features a cool dive bar. I assimilate to local fashion, learn to repair souped-up hogs, and depart back home to complete another arthritis-inducing minigame of mashing the A button. Admittedly, all of the button mashing is strangely engaging, despite the fact that it seems entirely uninspired, and I really shouldn't be enjoying it this much. But what can I say, the animations in this game make even the stupidest encounters visually impressive. Next thing you know, I've made enough friends and established a reputation for spitting in the air and catching it back in my mouth, as well as blowing flames. It's culminated in the unlocking of Kicktail Park, home to Urbania's skateboarders, subversive, masochistic types who are admittedly the coolest bunch of folks in this city. I've finally established my reputation that I'm appearing on posters up around the town in a sort of solipsistic fantasy. I am the important one. As I make my way through the neighborhoods, I begin to find that tickling people is an entirely welcome gesture as an icebreaker in this town. No one really has any personal boundaries, and some people even get excited when I walk up to them and just start rapping at them. I suppose this is the norm in an urban community. Who can really say? To put it plainly, there's a lot of touching. The Urbz talk with their hands. I practice rapping, 4-dimensional chess, and after failing to pay my rent and a visit from the repo man, I touch base at my new home, Blankwood Apartments, shortly before riding the subway to Central Station, home to punks of disturbing countenance who enjoy physical torture. To be frank, I don't fit here. But it's exciting how quickly getting your flesh tattooed and pierced from head to toe makes it seem you lead an entirely different lifestyle. With a colander for a hat, I'm off to fabricate piercings and defeat the local villain, Urbania, whose name is entirely too much fun to say, and whose primal markings belie his inability to weather the stench of my Mongo stink bomb. I attain more levels and ride the subway to the Foundry, home to the artsy hipsters, disgusting, stuck-up, erudite English majors. Wherever they move, everyone gets priced out of the neighborhood. So I attempt to blend in and do as little gentrification as possible, only when I'm surprised by the villain, Kiki Blunt, on whose lips I plant a kiss to end her reign of terror upon the dorky folks of the Foundry. The next neighborhood, Neon East, is easily one of the best locales in the game. Dress up like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, cook sushi, and play DDR. Only before leaving in one of the top 10 saddest anime departures of all time. Although it pains me to leave the gaiety and bright colors of Neon East, I need to keep moving if I want to maintain my bulbous, fragile popularity. People all across the city know that when Derek Urban arrives, it's tickle time. I tickle the black-eyed peas. I tickle the rich people. I tickle the gangsters. Wherever I turn, it's a party. And so all across the city, from tending bar on Cosmo Street to modeling at the top of Diamond Heights, home to Urbania's wealthiest residents, my vision of achieving celebrityhood comes to fruition. But what's it all worth when you still live in the worst apartment in town? You may have friends, but you can't get them all together in one place to enjoy each other. And so I discovered that if I wanted to unlock access to that most coveted of apartments, Darius's penthouse, I would need to dispatch the three villains, Harry Snivel, Kiki Blunt, and of course, Urbania, who were running amok throughout the city, terrorizing Sims and stealing their money. 9 times I encountered these villains, and 9 times I struck them down through my learned social skills. Stink Bomb, Zam Shot, Chug-a-Lug, Power Chord, the list goes on. And that was when I realized that I wasn't just some nameless nobody. I was basically Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I had gone to every district in the city. I had assimilated each of their powers, having brought order and unity to the otherwise disunited city of exclusive cliques and classes. So with the prophecy fulfilled, I received a phone call on my cell phone. It was Darius, and like some mysterious deity, he called me to that appointed promised land, his penthouse, the crown jewel of Urbania. Through socializing every single person in town, I had brought order and unity to the city, and the impressive cutscene where he removes his chain with the key to his penthouse from his neck and adorns you with it like some crowning laurel is admittedly cool. Then, he ascends in surprisingly Christ-like fashion into a blimp disguised to look like a subway car, and flies off into the night. Now you have unlocked Darius's penthouse, the best place anyone can live in the game. You also have access to his secret machine, which, oddly enough, prints counterfeit simoleons. But at this point, I did what I think any other reasonable herb would do, and I installed 3 hot tubs on the top of my home there in the penthouse, meaning that my life was basically reduced to having a small existential crisis whenever I walked outside and tried to decide which hot tub to get into. And that, my friends, is the essence of abundant wealth, meaning that I was really 2 for 3. 1, I had become the most popular sim in the city, my first goal. 2, I was wealthy enough that I could afford to stay in my house forever, inviting people over and ordering Chinese food to entertain them and stay popular. But I was still missing the 3rd piece of the puzzle. I hadn't found my soulmate. Was my soulmate the monkey that Darius had sent to live with me? Probably not. Who was my soulmate then? But maybe that's the mysterious magic that The Sims created. Spend hours in a dark room obsessing about the social interactions of non-existent virtual people. Anyway, I guess this has all just been to say that my childhood was better than yours, and everything was better when I was a kid. You'll understand when you get older. I'm Ambiguous Amphibian. A major thanks to my patrons, who are able to catch airborne spit that they have lobbed into the air. Until next time.